everybody. Hey, Shirley, you're first one in the house. Usually it's my sister. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. I can turn a light on if I need to. I've been uploading shorts. I got a couple of really long videos that I need to figure out how to edit and get them up there. Thank you, Cheryl. So, yeah, if you don't know or haven't subscribed or checked out their channel, Fangirl Cheryl, she lives part-time in a van. She's turning into a camper van, and part-time in Sticks and Bricks. So she's doing a little bit of both. With winters in Canada, I would be in Sticks and Bricks too. So I agree with you there, Cheryl. Anyway, I don't know if my sister knew I was going. Hi, Tony. I don't know if my sister knew I was going live, but I can text her like I do everybody else and let them know. Send her that message. You're welcome, Cheryl. You help us out, and I help you out. So anyway, I've got videos coming out slowly. Uploading very slowly. I got enough to do this 30 days of shorts. That is a challenge that we have all been doing. So it's been fun. Thank goodness I had something to do last weekend to be able to get all these shorts. And they weren't all the same exact things. I mean, they basically the same, but they were all different. So, but yeah. Anyways, it is an AA meeting, so enough of my yapping. And I will say the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, if you're new here, welcome. This is an AA meeting. But if you're not a recovering alcoholic or addict, that doesn't mean you can't stay and join in the chat or just listen. It helps for a lot of different things. It helped me to quit smoking. Well, to keep from smoking again, anyways, so far. It's been a year and a half since I had a cigarette. And I still every now and then have a craving for a cigarette. But I know once I smell one, it makes me not feel good, so I don't do it. All right, Cheryl. So we are doing the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions book right now. And I always put in the description what we're reading and book and page and all that good information. I put that in the description. If you're on the YouTube side, which most of you are, it's in the more button. If you hit the more that's under the video, it'll pop up and give you that information that you need. When I first started doing the AA meetings on here, I didn't do any of that. I just figured you'd listen and hear it, So not thinking that somebody might want to go back and read it for themselves. So that's why you do it now. But anyways, 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 4. Made a decision. I'm skipping it all. 3. No wonder it didn't want to come out the right way. It was the wrong one. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God so we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Taught through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And on to the traditions. 1. Our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on AA unity. 2. For a group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God as He may express Himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants. They do not govern. 3. The only requirement for AA membership is the desire to stop drinking. 4. Each group should be autonomous, except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5. Each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholics who still suffer. 6. An AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name, hence to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7. Every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8. Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9. AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. And 12. Anonymity is a spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities. I'm going to turn the slide on so I can see what I'm reading. Oh, okay. We are on step tradition 11. Our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at all levels of press, radio, and films. Without its legions of well-wishers, AA could never have grown as it has. Throughout the world, immense and favorable publicity of every description has been the principal means of bringing alcoholics into our fellowship. In AA offices, clubs, and homes, telephones ring constantly. One voice says, I read a piece in the newspaper. Another voice says, I read a piece in the newspaper. Another, we heard a radio program. And still another, we saw a moving picture or we saw something about AA on television. It is no exaggeration to say that half of AA's membership has been led to us through channels like these. The inquiring voices are not all alcoholics or their families. Doctors read medical papers about Alcoholics Anonymous and call for more information. Clergymen see articles in their church journals and also make inquiries. Employers learn that great corporations have set their approval upon us and wish to discover what can be done about alcoholism in their own firms. Therefore, a great responsibility fell upon us to develop the best possible public relation policy for Alcoholics Anonymous. Through many painful experiences, we think we have arrived at what that policy ought to be. It is the opposite in many ways of usual promotion practice. We found that we had to rely upon the principle of attraction rather than promotion. Let's see how these two contrasting ideas, attraction and promotion, work out. A political party wishes to win an election, so it advertises the virtues of its leadership to draw votes. A worthy charity wants to raise money. Forthwith, its letterhead shows the name of every distinguished person whose supports can be obtained. Much of the political, economic, and religious life of the world is dependent upon publicized leadership. People who symbolize causes and ideas feel a deep human need. We of AA do not question that, but we do have to soberly face the fact that being in the public eye is hazardous, especially for us. By temperament, nearly every one of us had been an irresponsible promoter, and the prospect of a society composed almost entirely of promoters was frightening. Considering this explosive factor, we knew we had to exercise self-restraint. The way this restraint paid off was startling. It resulted in more favorable publicity of Alcoholics Anonymous than could possibly have been obtained. Through all the arts and abilities of AA best press agents. Obviously, AA had to be publicized somehow. So we resorted to the idea that it would be far better to let our friends do this for us. Precisely that has happened. To an unbelievable extent, veteran newsmen train doubters that they have gone all out to carry AA's message. To them, we are something more than the source of good stories. On almost every newsprint, the men and women of the press have attached themselves to us as friends. In the beginning, the press could not understand our refusal of all personal publicity. They were genuinely baffled by our insistence upon anonymity. Then they got the point. Here was something rare in the world, a society which said it wished to publicize its principles and its work, but not its individual members. The press was delighted with this attitude. Ever since, these friends have reported AA with an enthusiasm which the most ardent members would find hard to match. There was actually a time when the press of America thought the anonymity of AA was better for us than some of our own members did. At one point, about 100 of our society were breaking anonymity at the public level. With perfectly good intent, these folks declared that the principle of anonymity was horse and buggy stuff, something appropriate to AA's pioneering days. They were sure that AA could go faster and further if it availed itself of modern publicity methods. AA, they pointed out, included many persons of local, national, and international fame. Provided they were willing, and many were, why shouldn't their membership be publicized, thereby encouraging others to join us? These were plausible arguments, but happily, our friends of the writing profession disagreed with them. The foundation wrote letters to practically every news outlet in North America, setting forth our public relations policy of attraction rather than promotion, and empathize emphasizing personal anonymity as AA's greatest protection. Since that, editors and rewrite men were repeatedly deleted names and pictures of members from AA copy frequent. They have reminded ambitious individuals of AA's anonymity policy. They have even sacrificed good stories to this end. The force of their corporation has certainly helped. Only a few AA members are left with deliberately break anonymity at the public level. This, in brief, is the process by which AA Tradition 11 was constructed. To us, however, it represents far more than a sound public relations policy. It is more than a denial of self-seeking. This tradition is a constant and practical reminder that personal ambitions has no place in AA. In it, each member becomes an active guardian of our fellowship. But when I first started AA, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay, whatever, you know. And then I realized what it meant when other people would be telling things about me. And I was like, what if I didn't want that person to know that information? What if I just wanted to share that here and not anywhere else? And this person just broke anonymity. Now, I understand it now. When I first started, I had no clue. And so one of my friends I outed on social media, and I realized after that, like, that's what that means. So, like, that wasn't my information to give to anyone. And I knew that after the fact. And so you got to make your amends even then, even when you don't know that. But so we always want to remember that anonymity is part of AA, and we don't go running to the press or the radio or films or whatever, because our story is fine to tell everybody if that's what we choose. The other people, however, that's for them to choose, not for me to choose. And some people don't even want their families to know that they're dealing with this issue. Mine knew while I was an alcoholic, while I've been recovering alcoholic. They've always known. And to me, I didn't know that they knew until later. After I got sober, and they were like, yeah, we knew. You weren't hiding it very well. I thought I was. I thought I was getting away with it. So sneaky. I could just sneak down to the store and get my beer and have it gone before I got home, and do that throughout the day. And I was very wrong. Very, very wrong. Because they all knew. I mean, I didn't go to extra extravagant details to disguise myself or hide it. I mean, you're getting up before the sun's up, and you're down at the store before 7, so you can buy that beer at 7 o'clock a.m. Yeah. They knew. Or try sneaking somebody's whiskey. Yep. They knew. They knew it all. They knew the whole time, My kids knew. My kids were watching it, and it's easy to go right back to that. And that's why I always remind myself of where I've been. Almost 11 years ago was my last out. And I think I got it this time to where I'm going to stay away from it. I think. I'm not going to say definite because you never know. But my plan is to never go back. Wasn't a likable person. Um, I was a crappy mom because I was drunk all the time. But I always fear that they're going to do that the same way I did. And I pray that they don't. Um, my oldest started doing stuff like I did when I was a teenager, when he was a teenager. And he was a teenage drinker. He drank with his cousins, and I did it too. And um, the only way I knew that he was he came and uh, asked me if it would be all right if he had a drink, and I said no. You're a minor, absolutely not. And mind you, I'm the alcoholic, and I was still drinking at that time. No, you're not. I was pissed. I went in the house. I was like, "Who sent him out there to ask me if he could have a drink?" You know. And needless to say, I don't think he had anything to drink that night. But I did the same stupid stuff when I was a teenager. Only thing I was hanging out with the adults. My friends were adults. My boyfriend was an adult. I was the only minor. And out of all my friends at that time. And living where my mama grew up, a lot of people knew me. I wasn't hiding. But I did. I ran around town and had my fun and got drunk, got pregnant. I did all of that stupid stuff. Then I hit adulthood. Well, I had my kids first. After I had both my kids, then I hit adulthood. I had to grow up fast when I had my oldest. I was only 17. My partying days was done. But then I hit my 30s and there it went. And that's when I became that alcoholic person I was fighting to not be. And I fought for 30 years. Even when I drinking as a teenager, I didn't drink all the time. When I was 21, in my 20s, I didn't drink all the time. But man, once I hit 30, that's all it needed. Turned 30, there you go, man. And I don't know, I was out there for quite a while. Um, but I've been sober for almost 7 years, and I'm glad to be sober because life being drunk right now, nope, nope. You think I ain't got a filter now? I definitely wouldn't have one then. I'm glad I have somewhat of a filter. Yes, I still like to argue. It's in my nature to argue. And I argue with my sponsor too. You can ask her. I argue with her too. She's like, you need a prayer. I'm like, no, I don't. I ain't going to. Not for that person. No way. You can't make me. I'm not doing it. Yep. Step 4. Oh yeah, that one got to me fast. That one took me quite a while to do. quite a while. I do need to do my steps again, though. I need to write all my stuff out again. But I went on kind of a health kick. My cousin passed away at 50. I'm not too far behind. And I really don't want to die at 50. So, yep. So, yeah. What else? I'm waiting for a phone call. My iron is severely low. They don't know how I'm able to even do my walking that I've been doing. Because I'm dizzy all the time. So I gotta go get my iron levels up. Not enthused, but it is what it is. And I'm not diabetic. So I got rid of that one. I got 5 more pounds to go, and then I'm under. Said I want to be under 2. After that, I will be under 2. I'm going all the way down to 150. I've done it once, I can do it again. Just this time I have a little extra skin. But I got this. I just have to do it the right way this time. Walking and not eating, that wasn't a good way to go. And drinking. Definitely wasn't. It's alright. Just sitting here talking. Talking about sobriety and life. Living it on its own terms. But I quit walking so much, I had to cut back some for now until I get my iron levels back up so I'm not so dizzy. I didn't walk at all while we were at the beach, except for I walked the beach twice. I walked from the parking spot because we have a car, and so we couldn't drive. We don't drive on the beach, and so it's quite a ways to the water. But the first day I didn't walk that far. The next day I walked all the way out to the water and stood there for a little bit. I had never walked that beach before, so I did. And next year I'm not going to be able to go for a round run because I can't breathe. Especially sitting on the street where they're all at. I definitely can't do that again. Sitting there with the fumes going in my lungs, that did not help me at all. So I don't think I'm going to go up there for that next year. I might go sometime during the spring or winter, but definitely not for a round run unless if I'm like staying somewhere that I don't have to sit on the street where they're at. It's okay, Lily. I know you have a headache. You need to talk to your doctor about that. But so yeah, I've been slowing down on the walking. Even though it's getting to that weather where it's better to walk. But I don't like this gloomy weather. The sun needs to come back, or I need to move. I need to move to where the sun's at. Oh, yeah, I want to be a snowbird. No, I like the snow. I like being where it snows, but it don't snow here very much. So if I was on the mountain, that would be great. I miss being up there a lot, like a lot. I hate living in the city. I hate it here, especially in this dump. This place ain't what worth what I pay for rent. Tony, can I come live with you? Just kidding. Yeah. So I've been walking in the mornings when it's cooler out. Even though I wear a hoodie, I put on my nice Jelly Roll hoodie and take off and do my mile and a half walk and come back every day. The people to see, places to go, and things to do. Right? Did I say that all right? Heck, I forgot I was supposed to be doing AA tonight. I, I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. Oh crap, it's Thursday. That's why there was no pre-warning. I was just ate dinner. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing today? I know I'm missing something. Oh, shoot. AA. Sorry, guys. But anyway, it's a short one again. So we got one more tradition left, and then I think I'm going to maybe set up a meeting for questions about my sobriety journey and all of that if you want. You guys can ask me questions. Maybe do that after tradition 12. And I'll do like maybe a meeting where I tell you guys more of my story and then go back to the big book. Um, just throwing out some ideas. Also, they have on the on the app, they have um, uh, pamphlets, literature, uh, daily reflections. So, I don't know. Yeah, I text you though, Will. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and read the daily reflection and let you guys have your night. Making amends. Above all, we should try to be absolutely sure that we are not delaying because we are afraid. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 87. To have the courage to be unafraid are gifts of my recovery. They empower me to ask for help and to go forth in making my amends with a sense of dignity and humility. Making amends may require a certain amount of honesty that I feel I lack. Yet, with the help of God and the wisdom of others, I can reach within and find the strength to act. My amends may be accepted or they may not, but after they are completed, I can walk with a sense of freedom and know that for today, I am responsible. With that, I love you guys. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. I love you guys. Be safe out there and stay sober.